Hi guys, this is the advisor and welcome back to my channel. Guys, this is one video that I wish I did not have to make. But in the interest of keeping my viewers and subscribers up to date with what's happening in the country, sadly, I have to do it. Because I don't know how much of this is actually coming on the news, or if the news have the amount of details that I have, but there you go. Anyway, 5 people were shot and killed in Rockfort yesterday, Monday, National Heroes Day, October 21st. And I hear that another 2 or 3 were injured. I need to confirm that, so I will update that if where necessary. So, we might ask, what could have caused that? Well, I'm going to tell you now. Well, it's a typical case of friend turn from friend. Betrayal. Because that is all that you're going to get from these parasites. They eat up their own. As we know from primary school, that we saw in our students' companion and our first aid in English, it said, there is no honor among thieves. And we see that play out in Jamaica virtually every single day. Most of the gang members who are killed are not killed by police. They are killed by their own fellow gang members or associates or affiliates of their gangs. And this incident is a classic case of the same. Now, the shooter who led the pack of jackals who went and took out their own was this gentleman known as Junior Creary. And believe me, Junior Creary make enough duppy. In fact, he's one of the top duppy makers in Jamaica. He is also a fugitive and probably on Jamaica's most wanted list because he's wanted for shooting and murders, and he was in lockup and he escaped. On Sunday night, August 29th, 2021, he and 3 others cut their way out of the Port Royal police station lockup. And they were not found, and their escape was not discovered until about after 5 Monday morning, on the 30th of August. Well, that is really an official way of putting it. But really and truly, the Port Royal police were bribed to actually let them out or give them the hacksaw, but the Port Royal police actually facilitated the escape of this individual and 2 more persons at that time. Since then, he had not been recaptured and he was living in the safe haven of Rockfort. So, who bribed the police? The money to bribe the police came from the United States, sent down by a man called Mendez. I don't know his right name, but his name is Mendez. Now, who is Mendez? Mendez is an old-time Don from the 70s. Did his fair share of killings and murders and caused as much mayhem as he could. Then him run go foreign and got more or less legitimate. But him never put down the badness. Because you see, toxicity is a thing, Once you become toxic, that toxicity, that venom, that poison remains with you for the rest of your life. You can't change. But he wasn't firing the guns. What he did was steer foreign and send the guns to Jamaica, so that his henchmen can carry on the badness. And he had 2 sons, one called Cairo and one them called Lucky. And their gang is the gang that the base one gang was formed from. They broke away from this gang and formed the base one gang. And therefore, the gang that Mendez and his sons control were always licking shot from the base one gang. Now, they wanted a really bloodthirsty murderer to send in pan the base one. And who they thought of? Junior Creary. But there was one problem. Jonah Creary was in the Port Royal police lockup charged for gun crimes. Oh, no problem. We could just bribe the police, get him out, and have him do his dirty work. And that's exactly what they did. So for more than 3 years, Jonah Creary got in a Rockfort and got torn up the mayhem. It was his son Cairo who convinced his father, Mandez, to send the money down to get Jonah Creary, to spring Jonah Creary from jail. As a matter of fact, since then he was actually taken in by the East Kingston police and was being held at the Elliston Road police station. And again, money came into play. Millions, I hear, was dropped. And again, Jonah Creary walked free. Obviously, he was a very well valued murderer. So he found safe haven in that area, looked after very properly, and became one of the top lieutenants for Mandez. But you see, there's something that we refer to as poetic justice. It is the same Jonah Creary who led the band of 4 men who went and took out Mandez, and the same Cairo, which is Mandez's son, who had convinced Mandez, his father, to spring him from jail twice. His other son was there. Mandez's other son was there. The one they call Lucky, but he was so lucky he never get shot. So Mandez, his son Cairo, and another top lieutenant in that criminal organization were killed along with 2 others and several injured. So people are saying, or it has been in the news, that this was happened at a football match. But believe me, it's not as simple as this being a football match. No, it wasn't. Yes, there was a football game being played that afternoon, but actually it was a dance. It was a memorial event for another scoundrel who was killed some years before. That scoundrel is called Pala. His street name is Pala. I don't know his right name. But he was also one of East Kingston's top knackies. He also came out of the Bryden Street area. That same place where we call Dunkirk. So between Dunkirk and Rockfort and the lower section of Mountain View, that was the area that he was tramposing in. But I don't know what he did, but man lure him. Members of the Klansman gang lure him into Spanish Town and dirt him over there. And he was so well recognized and respected as a cold-blooded, bloodthirsty murderer that every year they keep his commemoration on October 21st, which incidentally happens to be National Heroes Day. What I'm not quite clear about though is whether October 21st is his birthday and they're commemorating his Earthstrong, or if it is the anniversary of his death where they are commemorating the time when him lose him life. But I know October 21st is one of those 2 reasons for that October 21st event. For reason for one of those events or the other. Now, I'm not quite sure what year Pala died, but I know that memorials have been kept for him since at least 2020. One of the memorials that was kept for him was in Jarrett Lane, or out on the front part of Jarrett Lane, which is off Mountain View Avenue. And every year, them hold it at a different venue. Now, on this particular event, it was held at the football field on Glasspole Avenue at the top of Warwick Road, according to what I'm here. And that's at the foot of Warwick Hill. And this video clip will give you a rough idea of what that section of the city looks like. And that section is mostly known as Johnstown. The top of Oliver Road, between Oliver Road and Warwicker Road, is called Johnstown. You don't really hear that name much, but that's it. And at the top of that, right at the top of Warwicker Road, when you cross over Glasspole Avenue, up there, so up to Hillcrest, it's called Pleasant View. And there is nothing at all that is pleasant about Pleasant View, because as night come, everybody have to go in at them house before nightfall. Although it is crazy to even walk on the road during the day. People have the decent citizens are really held to ransom, or held hostage to be more specific. Security guards have to do night shift because they can't come out early, man, to take up a 6 or 7 o'clock duty. Nurses or anybody else like that, teachers who live there, have to either move from the area or change the shift, depends on the type of job, so they can manage to go to work. And as nightfall, walk into a more stable section of the community, or even leave outside of the community and sleep and come back in daylight. And there is nothing that the government is doing to sort of stabilize this situation. And I can say this: if Jamaica is ever to become Haiti, the epicenter of that breakdown is going to be right there in Philip Palwell's constituency of Rockfort. Between Rockfort and Dunkirk and every area in between. That will be the epicenter of Jamaica's degradation if we are to get there. Now, as I told you before, Mandez live overseas, and him sending the weapons and do everything he can to turn up the badness in the Rockfort area. But he came down for the event because him so respected the same pala that lost his life to the Klansman gang in Spanish Town. See, it's just why. But the question is, if Junior Creary was so well taken care of by Mandez and Cairo and Lucky and all the people in the area, and he lived there for more than 3 years, and they did everything for him, why him turn for Mandez and kill Mandez and Cairo, who was basically the leader of his cheerleading squad? Well, it is simple. As I said before, there is no honor among thieves. And there is even less honor among Jamaican criminals. I hear that somebody made him an offer that he could not refuse. And tell him, say, listen, if you kill Mandez and his sons, we'll give you a set of US dollars, and we will actually get you out of the country and send you through the border. And when I say send you through the border, I'm talking about he flying to maybe Panama or Honduras and taking transport into Mexico, go to the Mexican border with the United States, cross over, and, his problems are solved. And of course, as all lowlife would do, he bit the hand that fed him. Well, he not only did bite the hand, he ripped the hand off and yammy. What I heard was that Junior Creary, he was kind of sidestepping the Rockfort thing for a while, the Warwicker Hill thing, and he was kind of more gravitating and spending more time in his area that he was born, which is on Carnarvon Street in Rollington Town. I think Rollington Town is either Kingston 2 or Kingston 16. I know it's somewhere along the border with Kingston 2, but I'm not quite sure. So, Carnarvon Street It's really walking distance from Camperdown High School to give you a rough idea where you would find Carnarvon Street. So he was kind of sidestepping them Rockfort for a while. But Rockfort is really walking distance away. And he knew of this event because the posters were all over the area. So him just by this time went there, get rid of who him forget rid of, and then him step and him gone. By now, he might be on a boat out of Jamaica and maybe in one of those Central American countries, and then him take the Greyhound bus or whatever type of bus up north and head north till him reach the Mexican border and bams his uncle. Because here is why. I hear that there's a top job waiting for him in the United States. Because they know him cold-blooded and they know him no fear no foe. So believe me, this 27-year-old have a whole lot more potential for murders. And he's on his way. If the police don't catch him before him leave here and make sure dirt him, he will be one of the 7 plagues that the Bible set upon this planet Earth. And believe me, you see you see Mandez, every year when him coming out, he is the one who sponsor the entire program. Him sponsor the food, him sponsor the music, him sponsor the entire event, the players on the football team, because earlier I hear that there was even netball being played and all of that. So he got the entire community involved as a dad. And Mandez, he was supposed to have left the island today. Because one of the main thing him come down for was to see Pala celebration pass through and then him leave. So he should have left today, Tuesday. But no. And this is what you call poetic justice. He's now laying down on a cold slab at the morgue. And with one of his sons where him nurture in the badness lay down beside him. And right now I have no doubt that the lucky one will escape will not be putting down badness. As a matter of fact, he might even turn up the badness worse because he might do this because of his father and brother who he going to want to take revenge for. So, for the future, we can only look for more bad news, more murders, more mayhem, and so on coming out of the Rockfort area. Guys, thanks for listening. Like, share, leave a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.